Hello everyone and welcome to the finals of the 2017 Hoth Open. I'm Zach.
Horn. I am Steven.
And on the left here we have Nathan. On the right we have Will. They have battled it out to get to the top of this massive tournament. They're rolling to see who has initiative here. And we're going to jump right into the rock placement, which is something we don't always show.
We don't always show it, but it is actually one of the more important parts of X-Wing, and certainly players on the middle of the bell curve, right, have started and know what they're doing, but haven't quite reached mastery of a top 4 or finals yet. This is one area where you can actually dramatically see improvements in your game.
Absolutely. So we have Nathan's regen shields on the left with Ahsoka, Corran, Miranda on the right, and let's ask these players why they are placing the rocks where they're placing them.
I'm pretty curious why these rocks are going there.
My rock strategy was just to cluster them all up. His Corran could boost and barrel roll, but mostly would be, I assumed, would be doing 2 banks to R2-D2. And when you put the asteroids at range 1, the cluster mine fills up that entire gap. So worst case scenario, I was just gonna lock off those asteroid fields.
My strategy for placing rocks was I wanted to, put them mostly clustered in the middle, and then put 2 on the side, kind of 2 and 2, so I can make them engage around that rock.
I am fascinated here because both players effectively with the same strategy, right? They both want to cluster it in the middle, and you're seeing that here, the asteroids laying around the middle. But if you notice in the bottom left, I think this is the rock that Nathan's referring to at the kind of 2-2 range. And ultimately, if it goes how Nathan wants it, and you see here Will place it on this side, which is really good for Nathan. If it goes how he wants, I think the fight's going to happen around that rock.
Yeah, he wants to engage, you said, around the side of this rock. And I wonder if, Will going this heavy, I was wondering if he would actually change his positioning so to not just be a straight up dogfight, but he's definitely going into it. You have to worry about Miranda with all of these ships clustered up right here on this side of the board, right?
Well, and I think, so part of the problem, we've seen this list in action, Miranda. You don't want to joust Miranda because they can joust you really well. The Y-Wing, you can't K-turn, and then they drop bombs, and it's just a nightmare. So it's going to be a positional question mark for Nathan to really get around this.
And even where these ships end up. So let's just let's go to the source here and figure out why they're doing this.
When I was placing my ships, I wanted to just keep them bumped, so when he engaged me, he had to choose which side of the rock he had to go on, and then, it would be my choice of when to jump on his list.
So that's why you see Nathan positioned like this, and we've broken these lists down in the top 8 and top 4 games here, and now we're going to see what these players like and don't like about their list.
Maybe they'll provide a little insight that we don't have.
So the list is Biggs, Corran, and Ahsoka, meant for Biggs to protect Corran, and Ahsoka giving Corran, boost barrel roll or anything he can push the limit off of start the combat phase.
Bombing, Sabine, Miranda, Biggs, and the Stress Hog. TLT, locked the stress spot. Obviously,
bombs are a big weakness to the list because capture tie can't shoot at Ahsoka, but bombs don't care about capture tie, so, bomb Ahsoka, Ahsoka dies, nothing I can do about it. Has a lot of good matchups. I mean, any jousty list, and you can just joust them and trade their best ship for Biggs, and then you can really just run from there because they can't shoot Ahsoka, and, Corran's great at running.
I love that, and I've seen that happen time and again with this Corran, just running away once you've gotten the advantage. And repositioning, kind of like we saw in the Duncan game, not with Nathan, but good players using that reposition.
What it must be like to get to the finals and see the list that you're pretty much weak against from Nathan's perspective there.
Well, Corran can take the bombs. He's one of the few ace-like ships that can actually deal with Miranda's bombs here. Crowd watching intently here.
And there's a rare Zach Bunn there in the background.
I'm in the background and on the video.
We've seen Nathan in these top 4s, and he got really popular after his Paul Heaver game. So he's a real tough competitor. Let's check in with him.
I really like the close games. How it can go either way, it comes down to a single die roll or guessing someone's move. You're playing against other top players. It's a lot of fun.
That's classic Nathan right there, like I said.
At this point, he got second at Worlds, second here. At least it's second at Hoth. And so let's see what Will was thinking going into this game, seeing Nathan across the table.
I saw him at Chicago Regionals. I saw Nathan, but I never had a chance to play against him. I was actually intimidated by him at the top table.
And I love that idea. So Nathan earns the title of Nathan the Kid at Worlds against Paul a couple years back. Has since gone on to just win regionals and place well at these big events. And you have someone like Will, who this is talking with him at the tournament. the best he's ever done. And so he gets to a game and he's intimidated by Nathan, which is awesome, honestly.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Nathan after the game, and I was asking basically, what's it like getting into the top 4 in the finals? Like, this is big because I've always seen you in like the top 4s and whatnot. You actually made it to the finals. And he was like, well, actually, like, this is pretty standard. Like, he was feeling no pressure whatsoever. So Nathan really just bringing a sharp edge to the tournament scene. And Ahsoka, Corran, Biggs, right?
I love this
So it's
list.
a classic Rebel list that these guys and so many of these X-Wing players that get to these top tables are doing it with classic X-Wing concepts, right? Nothing terribly fancy.
Well, and it's really cool to see, you have Ahsoka come out, and you have Corran Biggs, which is a normal Shield region Rebel list. But then you add Ahsoka to the mix, which is a ship that came out most recently in Wave 10, and it kind of just changes the dynamics of the game, which is really, I think, fun to see these updates on lists as these new ships come out. And both players here, and you were mentioning, I don't think Nathan's list is particularly weak against Miranda, because Corran can take the bombs. The trick is going to be Nathan making sure Ahsoka doesn't just wipe off the board. Because he usually uses Biggs to protect Ahsoka, and like Nathan mentioned, Biggs can't protect Ahsoka from bombs.
That's right. Yeah, that does not count.
And I'm curious here, so Will's deciding to bank, and I think, because Corran's move is either going left or going right around the rock, like Nathan was talking about. So I'm curious to see why Will decided and bet here on going banking left.
I did the 1 bank and the 2 bank with Biggs because of what Corran did. I noticed that he wasn't going to take the inside of that rock. He was going to take the outside, and it was a wider arc to fit into there.
The level of thought going into that. So he's saying with Corran positioned where he is currently, the assumption is that he's not going to take the inside, and of course,
he doesn't.
There you go, and he doesn't. Now he could have technically maybe turned in there.
I think a 2 left turn or a 1 bank left turn with a barrel roll could have easily fit there, but one of the problems is that lane. If Corran's going up that lane, Miranda, if you look at where she's at, she can actually go right through that lane as well and just drop bombs right on him.
Yeah, and that seems like kind of the point of the asteroid cluster for Will, is that he has these wide open lanes. If you ever stick a ship in there, there is nowhere to go but bombs at that point.
Nathan almost has to go around the outside. And then, of course, even if Nathan did go on the inside, both of Will's ship, the Y-Wing and the X-Wing, can just turn in.
Yeah.
And now you've just got the same problem. And I think that is almost advantageous for Nathan. So I'm wondering at this point, you see he's barrel rolling out. I think that's smart to get some distance. And turning left with Ahsoka, I'm curious what he is thinking right now.
Let's check out the maneuver.
When I turned right with Corran right before the engage, I wanted to do that so he couldn't cluster bomb Ahsoka like right after the joust, because if I went to the left, his whole list would go to the left, and then he's got an open lane to bomb Ahsoka. But since I went to the right, I got Ahsoka right behind that rock, and then he couldn't bomb me that turn and had to hard 2 around me.
The amount of seriously, the amount of thinking ahead that's happening here is Rig after the joust. I mean, we're already considering after the pass,
And you haven't even got to the pass yet.
and we haven't even gotten there.
And you'll notice, so where Ahsoka's positioned now, she's effectively in between. The rock is in between her and Miranda. And we saw in the game before with Will just what Miranda can do, and we talked extensively about how far she can reach with her bombing runs. And he's really concerned about those bombs in Ahsoka, because he doesn't
you
want
have
to just
to
lose
be,
that
right?
ship. That's an
Yeah.
important part of this list. And so the fact that he turned with Corran, boosts out of range here, and then turns the other direction and boosts barrel rolls out with Ahsoka is crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, and again, not losing is cool. I think this is so important if you're an X-Wing player, which is realizing you don't have to joust. You don't have to just send all your ships in. You can literally turn away like this with Ahsoka and just get out of the engagement.
And sometimes, you can think about 6 turns ahead, if you're ready for it, it's there. This game does allow for that level of really just mastery. And it always blows me away. And at this point, Nathan's been doing this for a couple of years. So the way that he sees this board
It's crazy.
I can't even imagine it.
Yeah, and you start getting into the flow, and once you get games in. But, when you first start playing X-Wing, it's very much just throw ships at each other, throw dice, and see who wins.
Yeah.
And then you start realizing different little things you can do to get yourself a couple points ahead. And this is actually great position here for Biggs. Biggs outside of the arc of Miranda, so she's not going to get a shot. Biggs is also going to protect Corran from the stress hog. Biggs doing what Biggs do.
Yeah, forcing shots. Taking everything for the team, basically.
And
that's the Biggs Dark Lighter plan.
Masterful positioning here from Nathan. He's got Biggs at range 1. Ahsoka's not even in a concern zone. And Corran's going to get at least 1 shot, maybe 2 against Biggs. And
so yeah, this is not
Biggs
bad
is
at all.
also going to get a shot.
And this is a battle of the bigs right now, right? I mean, if you can take
Biggs or go.
if you can take your opponent's bigs out and they don't get yours, then that is a critical part of the game.
Absolutely.
So I expect in a final that the likelihood of both of those ships disappearing on the same turn is relatively high, and it's going to be all about this early positioning and all of these considerations, these tiny little maneuvers, these millimeters that are happening right here.
Like that
Where is
barrel roll
Ahsoka
is
going to go up or
important,
back right here? Those kinds of decisions in this game are going to matter exponentially as we play this thing out, and it's all about Biggs right now.
Well, and I think what you're seeing Nathan do here, right? He's going to use that rock to his advantage. He's also going to use Biggs' body to his advantage to protect Ahsoka both from shots and also from the ability for Miranda to slam and drop bombs.
Yeah.
So having Ahsoka behind his ships in the rock is actually really important. Miranda out of range completely. This is really good positioning for Nathan.
And theirs looks like a
Range
2
3.
or 3, yeah.
Range 3 looks like we're coming from Corran to Biggs. And now I will say the kind of meta level difference between the list, I'll insert these in between the attacks. First shot here. See what we got. First fire.
First fire, here it goes.
There it is.
Looks like a lot of paint there.
Looks like 3 hits. Wow,
Yeah.
nice.
And
Ooh, 3 focus. So just going to spend a focus.
that's
None shields taken.
evades all over.
And now Corran didn't spend a focus or target lock. So we might be seeing a double tap.
You think
in a
we'll see
second.
the double tap? Of course, if you don't know what that is when Corran can take a shot at the end phase, and we got 3 hits from Will.
Oh man.
Looks like a couple of evades, at least one.
So it looks like Will's big shot at Nathan's bigs and dropped both shields.
Both shields. So this is what we're talking about. These kinds of exchanges, bigs to bigs, so important.
It looks like he rolled 2, spending the focus token, going for it. 2 and
Biggs
2.
get
oh
NCs,
my
2 evades from
word.
Will.
This is bad. That's a bad exchange for Nathan.
I
He
think-
spent his focus token, so the Y-wing is now going to shoot back at Biggs.
I think we found the real Biggs Dark Lighter, Zach.
That's right. Wow, that is a good exchange.
So yeah, so certainly you have to imagine that Will's feeling pretty good about that. Got some good dice on there, evaded all the shots that needed evaded. His bigs is unscathed as compared to 2 for Nathan's bigs, and we have more hits coming.
Y-wing
2
with
right
a primary.
there,
Got it.
and got plenty.
All right, that rock is in between the Y-wing and Biggs, which is very good for Nathan. Taking a stress, giving Biggs a stress, and Biggs is just going to stress town.
Yeah, well, I would be pretty stressed too if my whole role in this list was just to get shot
2
at.
hits with the Y-wing and no damage there on that first TLT shot. Going to focus into 2 hits again. Going to take 1 more damage on
We're
Biggs.
taking 1, yeah. Boy, what an early volley there from Will. So
And now one of the things you're saying, whoever has the Biggs left after the first engagement is going to be an advantage. So I'm going to be curious, how is Will planning to deal with this? He has a little bit of an advantage here, so let's see what he's thinking
Look at
going
the
into
focus,
this
yeah.
next turn.
After that first engagement, I needed to set up Miranda's bombing. I needed to get Corran to follow me into the asteroid field, and I needed to protect my Y-wing. I knew it was going to disengage over their ships, and I needed to basically get it out of the way to turn around and bomb.
So his Biggs here still protecting the Y-wing, and meta level, this is crazy. So he's wanting to set up a bombing run here with Miranda, because he knows that Corran and Biggs of Nathan's is going to go past his ships. And this is kind of one of the big differences here. They both have Biggs, right? But Miranda has bombs that she can direct damage with. She also has a TLT.
yeah.
So she can, this is why this list is so great at jousting. She can drop bombs and still shoot you, even when you're
isn't that
behind her,
insane?
without K-turning.
So good.
And here he goes. So he's going to take his turn into the rocks.
He's not going to drop there, is he?
No, not yet. But the problem becomes, right, this next turn, he can reveal his dial,
Yeah,
drop a bomb behind
him,
him,
and then roll out.
and turn in. Yeah.
All right, so now Nathan certainly understands that. I mean, he knows exactly how this works. You don't
Yeah.
get this far not knowing how this is going to go.
Now Corran here, 2 forward, losing a stress, bumping. We'll see if Ahsoka doing a big 3-turn here.
And you have to imagine, so Corran is getting set up here. Is he going to have an opportunity to get out of Bomb's zone?
This is why that 3-turn was after all this, Ahsoka kind of comes in, gets the focus. Her ability, she can spend a focus to give a ship at range 1 an action.
Yeah.
Corran gets an action. He has pushed the limit. Anytime he takes an action, if he's not stressed, he can trigger that.
Wow.
And so right now, spending the focus, going to give Corran 2 actions here. So he's going to barrel roll outside the arc of this Y-wing.
And now we're going to, and he's setting up this getting out of that next turn bomb lane.
Absolutely. And he's also got now, with a target lock, looks like a maybe range 1 on Will's Biggs.
Just perfect opportunity here.
And if he pushes for a focus, he can do the double tap, potentially just wipe that Biggs off the board.
And you also have to imagine that this Biggs over here on Nathan's side is going to get obliterated. But I think that he might take a shot with Ahsoka. We've seen this from Nathan all the time.
Well,
if he knows his ship's going off the table, scavenger crane.
The first time I saw this, I never thought about this. I always thought about using scavenger crane on bombs. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's
but
what
you look
you're
here,
supposed to
Ahsoka,
think about.
Range 2 with Ahsoka, the crowd gathering here. Range 2 with Ahsoka on Biggs. We'll see if she can get any damage. Looks like 2 hits.
2 hits, and Ahsoka reveals
And
herself.
blanks on Biggs.
Is that 2?
Spending a focus.
Spinning the focus for
And
1 evade.
I'm a little curious there for 1.
Yeah, because you got a
I'm-
Corran right down your neck there.
As long as you can spend that focus for 1 at some point. That's an interesting call. So Miranda here looks like she's doing a range 1 on Biggs. Probably going to drop a shield. We saw Will being a little aggressive with Miranda in the last game.
Yeah.
But to get that range 1 and maybe get Nathan's Biggs off the board before Nathan gets to shoot.
That could be a big play.
Because of initiative. So the way it works when they're both the same pilot skill, if you destroy a ship, you still get to shoot with the destroyed ship at that pilot skill. So I actually think it's really just important to shoot at Biggs here. And maybe he looks like he was checking range.
He may have checked on Ahsoka
Well,
there.
you have to shoot Biggs if you can.
Yeah.
But if he uses the TLT and Biggs is at range 1, he can't shoot at Biggs. So then he can actually shoot at
That's fascinating.
other ships.
Yeah,
Whether
there
it be
goes
Corran.
the focus. Good, thank you. I was getting where I was going to have to say something shortly, but Will catches it.
Catch them a month ago.
Catch them outside.
How about that?
All right, here we go. So now we're
I think he's going at Biggs. I think going at Biggs with an extra die here. Is he using the extra?
He's not.
Range 1, not using the extra. I would have gone full tilt, man. Focusing.
But does it matter?
Oh, he's going to Corran with TLT.
Okay, well that makes all the sense then.
What?
And now he's going to drop a shield to do it.
What?
Man, Will's making some wild plays here.
He's just
Zach.
a wildcat, and he spent his focus on the last attack.
Oh,
That would have been 4.
No.
What is happening?
You at least
here?
save your focus for the 4 dice, right?
I think what is happening is he did the 1 damage, and he's wanting extra dice to try to get the extra damage in.
Yeah.
And
Because one
actually,
shield off of
Corran
Corran.
rolled blank, so he rolled a focus. He had to spend his focus on defense there. Because if he loses another shield, this is getting
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
problematic.
You can't do that. All right, so now we have return fire here, right?
Looks like we have range.
That's Corran there.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, Corran looking at 4 hits. There's some crits in there too, and nothing
blank city
for Biggs.
I think that's an integrated. So shield, gonna hit, and integrate astromech lets you eject your R unit to. Ooh.
We got a console fire. Start of the combat phase, roll an attack, and if it's a hit, you suffer a damage.
Yep. And so he's gonna have to decide if he wants to integrate that, and he's saving it. Looks like 2 crits.
And another
and
one,
a double
and it's
damage.
a double hit.
That's
way.
He's,
We integrates
it's
it.
not dead. He's gonna integrate it. So
Man.
now he's still got 2 health left, but he's down 2, and now Nathan's Biggs gets a range 1 on Will's Biggs. Will gets to shoot first, but Nathan's Biggs will shoot either direction. So we'll see what we get here. 2 hits.
2 hits. All right, we just need to hit some evades here.
Got nothing.
He just got. Oh no, but he's gonna
integrate it.
He's gonna integrate his too. Yeah.
Yep. Integrated's gone. Nathan's Biggs is down to 1. William's Biggs is down to 2. Intense. Now Nathan's firing back with his Biggs. Range 1. Looks like 3 hits.
That looks like some money.
Yeah, Will doing the math here in his head.
I'm not sure that I can evade this. You know, he's got to get double.
And a
It's like-
blank.
all right, there it goes.
All right, so Will's Biggs is gone.
Outta here.
Nathan's is down to 1.
Out of here.
And,
So it's exactly as we expected. So close on the Biggs train here.
yep, they're both capable. And a list being able to get rid of Biggs in the first 2 rounds of combat is actually just kind of a litmus test of your list or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so these guys have now had this kind of second exchange, and this was intense. So let's actually just go and ask them what was going on here.
When I attacked with Ahsoka, I mean, it's basically a free attack because they can't shoot me. unless Biggs dies. And when Biggs dies, I get to flip capture tie out.
When he killed my Biggs, I was actually kind of relieved because I can't drop bombs on that list until the Biggs and Y are clear. With one less ship in the way, it's an easier decision to drop the bomb.
Fascinating in the psychology there. So I would always rather have an extra ship.
Yeah, I think so. Will's basically saying, well, I may as well just start with Miranda.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it does make it easier. And like when you have a ship there, if you drop a bomb and it hits a ship, it blows up.
Yeah.
So you actually want to be able to, I get that. Whereas if you want to lay the bomb for your opponent to maneuver into.
It makes it an easier decision, at least, yeah. You don't have to second guess this.
So as I'm looking at this, it feels like round one, which was 2 turns ago, went to Will.
Yeah.
He did damage, Nathan didn't. And then Nathan just springs back into action.
Yeah, just good positioning there, got Corran some shots, and had a double tap if he needed it. Didn't even have to use it.
So he got Biggs off the board without having to double tap, which is important.
Yeah.
But now, if you look at the position of this board, Will's Y-Wing is now out of the engagement. It has the title, so it can't shoot 360 with its TLT.
Yep.
We have Corran, who's effectively not in threat range of bombs right now. We have Ahsoka, who's not in threat range of bombs right now. So as it sits right now, and we have Biggs still on the board for Nathan.
Yeah.
This was a crazy good turn for Nathan.
Absolutely crazy. We had a little bit of a bump city there. Hopefully they got it back in place where it needed to be.
And as they're maneuvering here, I'm going to do a quick breakdown of these lists. Not going to do the full thing. If you want to see a full breakdown, there's other videos out there. But effectively, Corran, regenerating shields will push the limit in R2 to recover shields, getting free target lock from fire control system. The double tap is his ability.
I've never seen a Corran horn that isn't built this way.
And bumping here with Biggs, that's crazy because Miranda can just drop a bomb.
I mean, that's 100% Biggs dead, yeah?
I think that's a dead Biggs. I almost go the other direction. But I don't know. I would be fascinated to actually ask Nathan what was going on there.
Yeah, I wonder.
So, anyways, the regen classic Corran can get away, has boost barrel roll, double actions. Ahsoka, the added here. Veteran Instinct 6 to a 9. Sabine Wren, anytime bomb damage happens, you do an extra. Scavenger Crane, when a ship dies at range 1 to 2, you can flip over one of your upgrades that was face down. You roll a die. If you hit, you lose the Scavenger Crane.
Yeah.
Capture tie, you can't shoot it if your pilot skill is below Ahsoka. Or unless she's the last ship on the board, then you can still shoot. Seismic charges, again, the bomb lets her drop in. And Sabine's Masterpiece, which gives her the crew and the illicit slot in the first place. And of course, classic Biggs. I love this Nathan list.
This is classic Biggs. And then of course we got Miranda, Biggs, Gold Squadron on Will's side. Basic stress tactics there with the Gold Squadron pilot, and then Miranda dropping the bombs, twin lasers. The classic build, and all throughout the top 4, top 8, this list by Will is just making waves. And built by Mr. Heaver, by Paul, the week before he won.
The weekend before this, I think it was Naboo Open, Paul won with this very list, going back to the Stress Hog Y-Wing. And this is,
This is pretty fascinating.
So Biggs coming into range of the bombs here. Corran going straight at Bomb City.
Now he gets a shield for doing that.
And again, Corran can take the bombs.
And this is the thing, I know that if Nathan is doing this, there's a good reason for it. He's probably looking a couple of turns ahead. He has to get the right positioning on Miranda. Perhaps he thinks he can get Ahsoka in there to give some actions to maybe get Corran out of trouble. Don't know how it's going to work, but I have faith that Nathan knows exactly what he's doing here.
Well, the problem for me, though, is that he basically offers Biggs up for free. And then because he doesn't need to use the extra damage on Biggs from the bomb, Sabine gets to trigger on Corran, taking 2 shields out. Miranda still gets 2 TLTs against Corran. And so, macro level, we heard Will say earlier he wants Nathan to follow him into the rocks with Miranda, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Because if you're following Miranda, she's TLTing you and dropping bombs. It's the worst of both worlds.
Well, here's Corran on the boost.
Woo!
So that's
right
a start.
By that rock.
That's a start.
You can boost on a rock, by the way, and that's a problem.
On the bomb?
Yeah, that's what I meant. And that is never where you want to find yourself.
And now Ahsoka here. So I wonder, is Nate dropping a bomb of his own? I wonder if Nathan is just, at this point, is he going to really pursue Miranda through the rocks here? Because why else? I mean, Corran's really going for that.
Corran, what he effectively gets there, he gets the free target lock from after his first shot. So we can double tap on Miranda, who's got low agility. And this is going to mean she's not going to potentially have very many shields to trigger extra attack dice.
Yeah.
Also being at range 1 there with Corran, Biggs is going to go. But being at range 1 means that Miranda can't fire the TLT at Corran.
That's true.
Miranda also can't shoot at Ahsoka because she's got captured tie.
Yep.
So effectively what you're doing is saying Miranda's only getting one shot, which is not that great. Like it's not going to do too much. Ahsoka, again, just getting out of bomb range.
Yep.
And I think the more part of the bombs is that you have to realize Will only has 4.
Yeah.
And so
Do you just try to get him to use them and
you
squirrel
try
out?
to get him to use them, right? So like Corran here, he can take a bomb, takes 2, next turn recover a shield. Take a bomb, take 2, next turn recover a shield. And he can just keep doing that. And being behind Miranda, he's only got 1 more thermal detonator on Miranda. So after that, the cluster mines you have to drop after you move.
Yep.
So when you're behind Miranda, it's a little harder for her to actually trigger that.
Okay, not as big of a deal. Okay, so that makes sense.
And there goes Biggs. The thing I don't understand on that is like if you just turn the other direction with Biggs, you potentially don't die with Biggs.
That's true.
But I think if you turn the other direction with Biggs, Miranda doesn't use the bomb.
Yep.
And then she uses it this turn, this next turn, and the turn after. So
And there's the
I don't know.
Ahsoka bomb hitting the Y-wing there.
And that's good. Direct damage is good, as it turns out.
Anytime you can not roll dice in a dice game, it's pretty much worth doing. So Corran takes a couple of shields
If
there.
I've learned anything in my life.
And gonna recover 1, no doubt, next turn. Gonna have some good positioning here, too, to maybe put some pain on Miranda. And also could take maybe a double shot and then just bail.
That's kind of what I foresee, which is he's going to take his first shot, and the double shot's going to depend on that first shot.
Yeah.
If he gets a good roll on the first attack, which I think he's doing right now, I'm not sure.
It's probably gonna be.
He's attacking. So if he can get some good damage here, then going for the double shot makes sense because you can start potentially get a crit through on Miranda, which could be all kinds of bad
That would
things.
be a big deal, yeah.
So let's see what he gets. I think this roll tells you a lot. And it's cool, like, a lot of times you assume that, oh, he'll just double tap because he's going to double tap.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly true.
You never know. It's all going to be dependent on how this happens. And so they're talking it out. Oh.
All right, Miranda deciding to use a shield here to get the...
Miranda's taking the shot here at Corran, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So Miranda goes first. Will has initiative. They both 8. I'm thinking Corran's a 9.
All right, there's your 3 hits. Looks like a single crit gets
Looks like he
in.
gets 1
That's gonna
agility.
be 1 damage.
Oh, man.
And is that a crit? If that's a direct hit, this is over.
Ooh, all his turns are red.
Oh, my
Lord
goodness.
almighty. That could have been game, pretty much.
That was nuts.
So he took
What
a hit
is
crit,
happening
blanked
here?
out, and now Corran's returning. Oh, yeah, that's just 2. And it gets an evade, only taking 1 shield.
Takes
Oh,
the
that's
shield.
brutal.
That is painful.
But he gets a free target lock.
All right. Do you, at this point, I don't know. All right, you probably take.
So right there, you need a couple more damage.
Yeah.
He needs. It turned sideways here for Nathan. He had last round, but this round it just goes sideways. Using that target lock here, double tapping with Corran. Looks like he only gets 3.
Only gets 3. Yeah. You want the dice.
And Will rolls another evade. So only taking 2. That's going to put Will down to none shields, I think.
I think he's going to remove his shield, take a damage here. We're going to look, staring at dice.
Just checking him out. So we've got Corran chasing Miranda down here. Y-Wing kind of disengaged. I want to see what Will's thinking about how he's going to get this Y-Wing back into the fight.
I was really concerned about the Y-Wing. After that initial engagement, I had Corran following me, and my only thought was I need to get the Y-Wing back into shots. I needed to get his ships. Corran, to be fair, I wasn't too concerned about the TIE Fighter because Miranda could deal with her. But I needed to get Corran in the arc of the Y-Wing. With shooting 3 times is a lot for a high agility ship.
All right, so goal here is to get Corran in the arc of the Y-Wing. Y-Wing is coming around. Miranda's dropping a bomb. It's going to make Corran with 1 health. Even if he recovers a shield, that just dies to the Sabine bomb. So he's going to have to not be at range 1 of that ship. And also, if you look at where the Y-Wing's at, not be in the arc of that Y-Wing.
So this is an exercise in X-Wing fundamentals.
It's a hard job. I think potentially the best move for Corran here is a bank to the right and a barrel roll out.
Okay.
Which is just go the opposite direction. But the problem is Miranda then gets 2 TLT shots. She can use 1 to recover a shield. Then on the next round, she's going to get the same thing. And they both kind of have the same rebel thing going on where they're just recovering shields, and it's
And
beyond
Corran's not going to have
frustrating.
a shot, right? I mean, so Corran spent that turn attacking. So his number one priority right now is going to be to get out of town. Like, doesn't even need to consider anything else. Because he has this bomb.
Game.
That's got to be a game,
Just
right?
call the game.
I'm
So
actually
let's see what
curious.
Nathan does. Oh, he's going towards it.
He's going towards
Ah!
it. I'm really curious, actually, at this point, what William's feeling. So let's check in with him.
If the bomb did hit, he was done. So he needed to avoid that bomb. I was hoping that he would need to get out of bomb's range, would put him in the Y-Wing's arc. If he didn't, I would hopefully be able to get the cluster mine off on him.
So there you go. He's basically setting the trap here. And you have to imagine Nathan knows this, right? I mean, he's fully aware of the fact that if he's anywhere within that bomb's range, he loses. And then you
Checking
have
the
a
barrel.
Y-Wing to worry about.
Let's see what he's thinking right now.
When you dropped the second thermal detonator, if I was anywhere within range 1, I would have died because I had 2 health because I regen 1, and he speeds me for 2. So I had to get out of there. I looked at the Y-Wing's arc, and I figured I could boost and then barrel roll and then get the rock for cover from Miranda's TLT and barely be out of arc of the Y-Wing.
Crazy position, and I think that's just how ace play goes. So he's basically considering the option here, boosting bank 1 left to right now with Corran, and then he can barrel roll to the right, which would mean he's kind of protected by that rock from Miranda 2 turning and like slamming for a bomb drop, and hopefully out of range of the Y-Wing.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, because the other thing he could consider is boosting up to the left, and then the problem is if he barrel rolls towards the Y-Wing, which would be ideal if the bomb wasn't there, he could then shoot the Y-Wing, and he's out of arc, and the Y-Wing's stressed, so it can't really get Corran back in arc.
Except he can't shoot anything because he did take
Oh,
the
he
double tap
That's
last
why he's got
turn.
that.
Yeah.
He's got that token.
So he doesn't have to worry about it too much.
That's where I'm wondering if you go back a maneuver. It's like if he'd banked the other direction to the right and then barrel rolled out and focus. It's like you're getting shot at by Miranda with a TLT, but you're nowhere near bombs.
You got to wonder, but at the same time, Nathan, I have always seen him just get into the action. He's the kind of player that just wants to come right at the situation and get your guns going. I mean, Nathan's he's a tough player in that respect, so he's not afraid to do these weird maneuvers and these kind of moving towards dangerous situations. And it looks like, to me, is he in that Y-Wing arc?
It's going to be really close. I think that the thing for me, as you mentioned earlier, though, is that one thing Corran is great at, which is running.
Yeah.
And so if Corran gets on the other side of that rock and just can spend some time to get 3 shields, I feel infinitely better about his odds.
And that Y-Wing's in a good position to make that somewhat aggravating for Corran to just kind of limp around out there.
And that's what's going to be frustrating here is that, so Miranda is going to get TLT shots. If Y-Wing has range, it'll get shots. But next round is the real concern because Miranda's going to get shots, Y-Wing's going to get shots. It's just fiasco.
Shots. Shots. Here we go. Will rolling the dice gets 3 hits.
And Corran
Just
taking
need
his
dice
shield.
there. So shield off. A green maneuver recovered a shield, and there it goes. Already it's gone away. And
Let's see if
pray
Cor-
for rain here.
Yeah. You gotta agility out of this. 2 hits. See if Corran
hits.
can do it.
Here
This
it
could be
goes.
the game.
This is the roll. And
Looks like you got 2 agility. Wow, 2 evades.
Evades. Corran Horn weaseling out so far.
This is so important.
Do we have the Y-Wing taking shots as well? Remember,
think
those
he's-
green dice can always fail you. Always fail you. Those green dice are troubling.
It looks like the
sometimes.
Y-Wing here out of arc.
No. We'll get some judges on it.
Based on the template, Judge coming in here, that is so close. Razor's Edge. He just
this
slots
is just the
Corran
moment,
right in.
isn't it? What a critical call. You have to just understand.
What you don't want is bumping ships here.
Yeah. So it's just like we need somebody to come in here and hold this ship
Hold it down.
as quickly as possible.
I think that's slightly out of arc. When you're measuring these arcs, you always, depending on if you're the defender or the attacker, you want to bend it just a little bit. It's
Just
like,
a
I just
little.
need a millimeter.
That just looks barely out. I mean, just barely.
Yeah, we're talking it's crazy.
That may be less than a millimeter. No bumps. You just gotta wait. The crowd. I remember this moment. Crowd just.
I can't believe no one's holding that Y-wing down.
Well, there's some precision measurement going on here. That's being called.
Man,
That's got to be out. That's out. That is out.
Out of here.
Of arc.
Great judge work there. I can't imagine. Even the slightest little bump is game changing. So you got to be real careful.
Yeah, back to the dials here. Great job making that call. Y-wing getting moved forward.
All right, so just going one forward, clearing a stress, getting a target lock on Ahsoka. So Will looking a couple turns ahead here, I think, and just assuming that it's going to come down to Ahsoka v. the world, and we will see if Corran can get off the board. 2-turn from Miranda. This is bad news, actually. You know what comes after a 2-turn? A slam. Slamorama.
So is this basically... Ooh, wait. He's not going to get one. He will get them on there.
He is going to drop a bomb right on Corran. And now
that's Bomb City.
Here's the trick, right? Miranda, with initiative, Will goes first, so he gets to move before Corran gets to move and recover that shield. Dropping a bomb. And now this is going to be 2 reds for each one that hits Corran.
Okay.
So Nathan is not just out. If that hits him. All right, so 2 are hitting Nathan, I believe.
We know that.
Maybe not the middle one.
I don't think that's
so
hitting.
Nathan needs 2 blanks here to live on these 2 attack dice. So they're triggering both. He actually doesn't. He's got Sabine. That's just out of here.
That's gone.
That's just gone.
It's gone. Corran, you're gone.
So it happened. Nathan got out of the Y-wing arc, but did not see the 2-turn 2-bank slam from Miranda. Crazy town. Dropping bombs directly on Corran and killing him. So
way to go, Will, man. What a maneuver. He just saw it, set that right up, and made it happen.
And so this is going to be hard. Nathan needs some half-court shots here.
Yeah.
Or some onside kicks or whatever you want to say.
You got to start taking chances. So can take a shot, and Will's just rolling that big evade every time.
On the money. But it's not over, so Ahsoka can still just dodge.
It's still a pilot skill 9, essentially TIE fighter.
And there's that 4K, the classic maneuver from the Y-wing.
The secret Y-wing. And now what's Nathan going to do ultimately? So is he going to try to engage here? Because he's got a bunch of ships facing him down.
He's just got to go for it. It's like going for, you're down by 10, you guys start shooting 3s or onside kicks or whatever. Now, Miranda only has 1 bomb left.
Yeah.
So that's actually really good for Ahsoka. Let's see what Nathan's thinking here.
I did the 5 forward. If that was range 1 to Miranda, shoot Miranda, maybe I get 2 hits. Miracle roll, I survive. Then I drop Seismic and kill Miranda if he forgets about it. I mean, that was really my only shot.
So Nathan here going for the long ball.
Just making it happen. And yeah, he's got to start making it happen.
So we'll see what he gets. Doesn't get the damage there. He could have potentially gotten a crit through, making Miranda not shoot. He does still have a bomb, so he can drop that when he reveals his dial next turn. So he's got some play here. Y-wing range 1.
But he really needed more things to happen there for him.
Oh, nice. Those are some things.
Looks like those are the evades.
Doesn't take a damage there from the Y-wing. So Ahsoka's still at full health.
Yeah, 3 big health, but it's all there. It's very much intact. And here we go.
1 from Miranda. All right, 1 damage on Ahsoka and rolling no evades there.
This is looking really bad for Nathan. I mean, he called it right. You needed things to just go really well.
Stress Hog stressing out. Range 1 here. 2 on Ahsoka.
Looks like we got an evade.
Taking 1. It's a crit. It's a double damage.
That's it.
Wow, fantastic game. Huge congrats to Nathan and Will for making this far and for Will for winning this thing.
Miranda just running the show here. What a wild game. I think that is one of the coolest games that I've seen. Nathan finding a way to get away from that bomb, but ultimately Miranda comes in with the unexpected maneuver, drops those cluster mines, Corran off the board. And man, let's just you want to spend some time with William?
Let's spend some time with Will.
Just disbelief. Like I'm not normally. I play in tournaments, but I haven't been in one since like January maybe. So to come back into the tournament scene and just bomb everybody.
Fascinating. That was an incredible game.
Bomb everybody.
Huge congrats to Will and Nathan for making it this far. And to everyone listening, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, absolutely. So this was an awesome game. We have more from the top 4, even a couple of top 8 games. And of course, you have more X-Wing games coming on the channel. We also have
The Coruscant final coming up.
the Coruscant final, yeah, which is a funny story for you, and we'll probably talk about it in that game, I'm sure. And we also have X-Wing subscriptions, which is a new thing that we've launched. So if you want to get all your ships whenever they come out, we will do that for you. You just sign up once, and then everything happens automatically.
Absolutely. And
Pretty
we're gonna end here. We're gonna cut to Will some final thoughts. And until we see you guys all again on our next X-Wing video, keep playing.
Alyssa Parker, my girlfriend, her lucky hat. That's what got it. Also, Paul Heaver, sorry dude, but your list is good. I can't lie. I did lose. I lost my second match, day 1 of Hoth, to a guy running like a Tin Nub Jake Warden, and his automatic ions just got me. And big shout out to that dude, because he was the only one to beat me. I forget what he said his record was, but he didn't make day 2. So big shout out to him. Best part of the tournaments, definitely in the community. Everybody's super friendly, helpful. A shout out to, I can't remember the guy's name because I didn't play him, but he brought some trail mix. And he was like, oh, Judge, you want some? You want some? And I ended up giving him like one of my acrylic tokens because he, an extra munitions token. I was like, take this, dude, that's great. And I don't know, just the community is great.
This dude, sorry dog.